This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Walk. My name's Gareth, I'm back with my mate Phil, and we are around the area of Darley Bridge in Derbyshire. It's a bit of a different one, this, Phil.
A bit of an impromptu get together because we seem to be quite close this year, so I thought, well, may as well come round, and with our roving eye we're bound to find something interesting to look at.
That's it. So it's going to be a bit of a sort of circular-ish walk. We're going to take in Victorian railway, a medieval bridge, some Roman mines, a Neolithic stone circle.
Yeah, and a strange tower.
Who knows? You name it, we'll try and find it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So here is our first port of call. This is Darley Dale Station, a beautiful Gothic building that I've got to say, Phil, I thought this was the original Darley Dale Station, but I've learnt since it's not.
I learned when you told me, so I wasn't certain.
This came along actually in the 1870s. This was an upgrade from the 1849 station, which is basically just over the other side of the road there, where the is that like a permanent way hut type thing is down by that signal?
Looks like it.
So when this station opened in 1849, it was opened by the Manchester, Buxton, Matlock and Midland Junction Railway. So that's quite a mouthful, which later became the Midland Railway. And in that direction, you're heading down to where, Phil? Where are you getting a train to today, mate?
Well, if this was now, it would only go as far as Matlock, but before that, it would be to London St Pancras.
All the way down to London.
Yep.
Now it's a heritage line called Peak Rail. Now in that direction, in the old days, up until 1967, you'd be heading off to Manchester. Now you can walk large portions of this old line up in the Peak District now. It's called the Monsell Trail. So you can get on that at Bakewell, which is not too far away from where we are, and you can walk it just shy of Buxton, to be honest. It's a beautiful walk. If you've not done it, I would recommend it. And here's an old school poster, look. London Midland Scottish Railway. So that's, well, it looks better when it's not a messed up poster like that. But unfortunately this line closed, as I said, in 1967. It was part of those Beeching cuts, which British people that hear that will go, oh yeah, Dr. Beeching. Whereas people around the world, you're probably thinking, what on earth are you talking about? Well, basically the government in 1963 commissioned a report on the state of the railways, and a guy called Dr. Beeching, who some of us suspect had links to the road haulage industry, basically wrote a report and condemned a large chunk of the railways, wasn't it, Phil?
Third, was it?
Was it
only a third, I think, yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay, what we're going to do now then, we're going to stomp on, we're going to find that medieval bridge. But before we get to that bridge, there's the 1870 station, beautiful Gothic look. I'm wondering if that's something to do with the 1840 station then, Phil.
Yeah, but I think you'll find that station houses or station buildings that were built in 1840s really differ from sort of turn of the century. That don't look like a station house, does it really? Even if you're saying it is.
Well, I don't know if it is or not. It's just, you know, maybe it's the crossing keeper's house or something. I don't know.
It looks different.
Yeah, it does look different, yeah. But there then was the original station in that vicinity. Now we were struggling for a decent view of the bridge, however, you can always rely on the ancient folk to sort you out. So this bridge is 15th century. I nearly fell over then. 15th century, Phil.
Just look at it as well.
Oh mate, right, I'm trying not to fall over. Right, I should look where I'm going. I'll show you where I'm going. Here we go. So here's the River Derwent. Look at that. That's amazing. I tell you what, look at those middle arches as well.
I don't know work out why they're crest-topped arches and these two here aren't.
Yeah, they're different, aren't they? But the clue in terms of these medieval bridges, because there's quite a few old pack horse bridges, it's those pointed bits, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, I don't know what you call them. Actually, those. Any guesses? It's not a parapet, buttress, I don't know. There's a name for them, isn't there?
Buttress sounds about right, to be fair. It's a word I've heard.
Kind of, but they deserve to be called something a bit more dignified than a buttress, you know what I'm saying?
They do.
Nice.
But that's amazing. And, you know, the River Derwent in its height of, you know, flood isn't messing about, and that stood there since the 1400s, so that's incredible. So we'll climb back off the riverbed now. See, these are the bits of history that you don't necessarily pay that much mind to, in the sense that, as Phil's just said in my ear, like the amount of trucks. How many trucks a day did you say go over here?
They've got a large fleet and they're at it all day. I bet it's getting on treble figures.
Treble figures of trucks coming out of these quarries going over this bridge. I bet no one really bats an eyelid as they drive over it, but 1400s. So history is absolutely everywhere. Now, I like a bridge, and those that watch the channel will know that I like a pint as well. So there we go, Phil. 3 stags' heads. So this is 1736.
I'm led to believe, if the BC gave me the correct information. No, I guess, looking at it. I can tell by the bricks.
Yeah, it bows, doesn't it, actually? You can see it bows slightly. You can see it's been built in 2 sections as well, if not more.
Well spotted, yeah. And I think that some of these inns here may well have been built because of the growth in the lead industry, which would have been in the 17th, well, this is 1736, around that time.
Yeah.
Miner likes to have a drink.
He absolutely does.
We've seen them all over the place, so yeah, I'd say that's what this has been put up for.
So as Phil said, these lead miners, they like to pint, and having been in a few lead mines, I can't blame them, to be honest. It would be a tough gig. Now, a lot of these communities, including the pubs and including the houses, they popped up around the 17th and 18th centuries. These lead mines expanded. Kind of different enterprises opened left, right and centre. So what we're going to do now is go and find one of them. This is one called Mill Close Mine, and as I understand it, there are some remains dating all the way back into the early 18th century. So we're just on the edge of Darley Bridge, and already I feel like I'm coming into something industrial. There's a lot of quarries around here, isn't there, Phil?
Well, there's actually a lot of spoil heaps that are so old, nature's completely reclaimed them, and you wouldn't realise. All this area is basically made of a spoil, but you just can't tell really, because nature's completely overtook it.
From the lead mines?
Yeah, it's spoil heaps, nearly all of this is, yeah. This used to be a mass sprawl of spoil heaps.
So as I was saying, just down there in Darley Bridge, all these areas like expanded massively in the 17th and 18th century, but actually these lead mines in Derbyshire date all the way back to Roman times, and they found evidence of that. I don't know what the evidence is, to be honest, but you're pointing at something there, Phil.
Well, it looks a bit boring, but actually if you've got a trained eye, you can sort of tell that this is an area of old ancient spoil heaps. Quite often on these spoil heaps, the product or grass doesn't grow.
Right.
So if you look around, you get a mixture of rich woodland, and then you get some barren areas like what you've got over there.
Yeah, there's one there, big one there.
Nothing's gone there, so you know that could have had a bit of a content to the waste that came out of the mines, or something that wouldn't permit growing. So yeah.
So the trees would not grow on lead, basically.
Well, there's certain things that came out of the mine that don't pollute the earth, shall we say,
right,
to an extent where, not that it's a threat to life as it is, but for plants and trees, yeah, definitely.
Now you've just stepped aside for me there, Phil.
I've stepped aside to have a look at the view.
That normally means there's going to be a great reveal. Right, I'm going to slowly concentrate on that because it's old, but there's your money shot. Wow. So this is an engine house then?
Yeah, it is actually. That's what it was. It would have had a very ancient and huge pivot arm that would have come out of that arch, and it would have been drawing water out of this shaft. Now, I'm not sure how it was powered, but certainly the...
Wow.
You know, this is a...
This is the lead shaft then?
Yeah, this is what they use for getting the water out down here.
Right, I don't know what... Oh, there's some rail here.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know why. I think it's just to stabilise this mess they've put, or this concrete.
Oh, okay. So they've put rail across and then just stuck this big
it's
chunk of concrete for no reason. Do you want to grab the torch out of my bag, Phil? Yeah. And if we shine that down... Oh yeah, because you can see down it, right?
Yeah, you'll have water. Because the problem with a lot of these...
If you open it up, mate, it should get bigger.
So see if we can... Oh, yeah, you can see the water, look. Can you see it's running as well, look. See? Or it's
oh yeah, I can see it dripping.
It's
wow.
glittering, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I don't know if
what's
you can
that?
see that, ladies and gentlemen, just at the bottom.
That's got to be getting on for 100 foot.
Easily, and you don't actually know either how deep that water is, mate.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is incredible.
It was having to. There's a problem with the water, so the miners had to stop when they hit water, so that's why they've had to put this huge stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So let's have a look, see if we can get in here. Oh mate, yeah, there's loads going on inside. Oh, mate, yeah, this would have been big. A big structure here. There'd have been some kind of wheel on that. Look, you can see where it's cut stone. Mate, look at that.
I mean, it's hard to imagine how huge this, well, they call it a machine, but it wasn't a machine as in fuel driven, was it? It would be water or maybe steam, but it would have been a huge arm sticking out of here.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
You just couldn't imagine such a huge structure, like a fairground ride sticking out, you know?
But also, like, just the quality of the workmanship as well, for an engine house. You know, no one's living in this. It's not like, you know, an ornamental feature for someone's house, but even, look here as well, there's more going off. It goes all the way up there. I'll tell you what, I bet, oh, I nearly fell over. I bet going back, you know, how long, how far are we going back? A couple hundred years?
I think it was 1790, don't quote me on it though.
That's amazing, I'm quoting you on it.
But I don't know why, but the walls have gone on the sides, and it's such a huge structure. I think the front bit was probably a bit more sturdily made, shall we say, because they're pretty hefty, aren't they?
They are hefty. It's amazing, mate.
It's just, yeah.
This is quality. Loads of stonework all down here as well. You'd have probably had a series of shafts as well, so you should probably be careful where we walk. And all this stonework as well. It's massive. It would have been a big old site then.
Yeah, it'd been a noisy site. There'd have been there's a lot of shafts down in the valley bottom down there as well, actually, which backs up the imagery that I'm sort of giving, that there was spoil heaps. That's why. Just waste coming out of shafts that used to exist down the bottom. Just basically moved Mill Close Mine, I don't know, 300 or 400, 500 metres up there, and called it Mill Close New Mine. That's the one that operated as the last lead mining one in Derbyshire till the 1940s.
Got ya.
This had been abandoned. So,
okay.
It's the other one that was the last lead mine, yeah. And
that's all private land though now.
That's been taken. It was bought at that time by a company, I forget its name, and they are actually still there on the premises now.
Okay.
Producing something or other.
So is that the one that was shipping down to the railway on that amazing conveyor?
Yeah, eventually they put a ropeway. Now I don't know if the ropeway went to the station for reasons of taking it out by rail, because there's no evidence of a goods yard up in Darley Dale, is there? I didn't really see
I think
one,
there was one, but I'm not sure. But
So,
I'll get an old picture and we'll have a look.
Yeah, you need to look at the map where the cableway ended. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it came up where that cricket pitch was, where we parked earlier. Nevertheless, an interesting thing to have an aerial ropeway going over the road. And if you look at the pictures, they used to have like a protection trough where it went over the road to protect, you know, whatever cars going under it, so that nothing
would fall down onto the motor. Yeah, that wouldn't go down well. So unbelievable remains, unbelievable structure. That's incredible. Just as you can see from the drone footage, it's just sat there in the woods. Now what we're going to do, we're going to walk up and find another tower in the woods called the Reform Tower, or the Earl Grey Tower. Now that relates to Earl Grey, not the tea, and the Reform Act. Now you can see, Phil, from what you were saying, that's a working area, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's sort of remashed spoil, isn't it, that's been kind of put into place to provide a bit of a, I don't know, road scrambling track. But with a train there, I think you'd have clues that you're in a mining area just by looking down there, I think, yeah.
Well, that's mad, because you go back, what, 200 years? This place would have been, well, a hive of industry, wouldn't it? And now
I wish there was a photograph this went so long ago.
Okay, so we'll march up the hill now to find that Reform Tower, or Earl Grey Tower as I say, and then beyond that, literally just behind it, there's Nine Ladies Stone Circle, which is supposed to be Neolithic, so thousands of years old. Now I have done a video there before, a long time ago, when I was, you know, filming on my phone just starting out, so I'll put a link to that in the description, because there's a few little bits and bobs in that episode that we won't cover today. So we've walked up onto Stanton Moor. Now this is where the Nine Ladies Stone Circle is. But first we're going to find this Reform Tower, or the Earl Grey Tower. Now it's said that this was built in the 1830s by the Thornhill family to commemorate the Reform Act, which was supported by the then Whig Prime Minister. I don't know what that means, Phil, if he was bald or what. But the reason they put it here, so it's said, is that the Duke of Rutland, who lived at Haddon Hall, if you've watched the episode we did Haddon Tunnel, Haddon Hall is the stately home right there. The Duke of Rutland was opposed to the Reform Act. And so when the Reform Act went through, the Thornhill family thought it'd be funny to build this within eyesight of his house as a bit of a, you know, have a look at this.
I'd say that to build a tower is an expensive way to chuck something back in somebody's face.
No,
I mean,
it is.
God.
That's what money's for though, isn't it? To be able to take the mickey out of someone with a massive tower on a beautiful hillside, which we'll come to shortly. The Reform Act of 1833 was meant to improve, you know, workers' rights and workers' conditions and stuff like that. But some of the lead mines we've been in, you've been in particularly, kids working down them.
Well, yeah, this Reform Act, I don't know a lot about it, but I guess it didn't iron out the underage, should we call it, kids working in the mines, because they were still doing it much after this Reform Tower was put up, definitely.
Yeah, and some of the shoes we found underground, you know, I know that, you know, we're told they were malnourished and stuff like that, but they look like kids' shoes to me, some of them. So we're not far away now from the Reform Tower. We've been stomping along and there's chunks of stone everywhere, but this is a big area of quarrying. Was. There's the Earl Grey Tower. There's Thornhill looking very proud of himself. It's a hell of a sight with loads and loads of stuff going on. We're just here, so we're going to walk down now to Nine Ladies and to the Earl Grey Tower there and have a butcher's look at that. You know, these stones as well, Phil, like we've been walking and it feels like you're just walking, you know, through essentially kind of fields, I guess. But how old are these? I mean,
well, these have been put there for traffic to go along, aren't they? So obviously it might have been an alpaca's route of some description where cattle have been pulling goods, probably out of the quarries in the olden days, you know?
Yeah. Mate, okay. So up there, you've got Nine Ladies. We're going to end on that because, you know, it's Nine Ladies, Phil.
Yeah.
But down here is that tower, and it should, very much like the mine we saw earlier, kind of just pop its little head out from the trees. In theory. I say that because despite having been here several times, I can get lost around here quite easily because everything looks the same. Whoa, I mean it's nothing to do with Earl Grey, but they're serious, mate. Yeah,
this looks like the ones you get in a kid's cartoon, look, when you
are
mushrooms with the dots on the top, look, but that's not as edible as you might think, so let's leave that one.
Would you not chow down on that then, Phil?
No.
I think if we did chow down on that, we'd probably see Earl Grey. At least we'd have a guide. Phil's starting to doubt my my skills of detection in terms of this tower, but these ones are even more epic. These are like, it's like from Wind in the Willows or something. Okay, here it is. She just kind of looms out there from the trees. Now, oh, let me come up. Bosh. So 1833. Just to wind up the Duke of Rutland. I love it. Right, I'll clamber over and have a look around the other side. Phil, I think you used to be able to get in it and go up to the top. I guess to wave at the Duke of Rutland, but it's all been filled in now. I don't know how long ago you could go up there. Health and Safety said not tonight, Henry, annoyingly, because that'd be great. What a view that'd be.
Well, it might be, but yeah, it would go over the trees, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you'd have a decent view over to Haddon Hall and up towards, you know, Bakewell and all that way. But amazing structure, and as Phil made the point earlier, quite a lot of effort to go to just to sort of rub someone's face in a law being passed.
Almost chimney-esque.
It is,
isn't it?
Yeah, chimney-esque. I like that word. Okay, so we'll walk up now from the Reform Tower or the Earl Grey Tower, and we'll go and finish the stomp and the explore at the Nine Ladies Stone Circle. Here we go then. They don't look big, do they? You know, when you think of stone circles, you think of Stonehenge and Avebury and stuff, like massive, but they're still epic and they're so old. So we're going back 4,000 years ago, that they know of, isn't it? I mean, how do you even, you know, put a date on it? It was one of the first monuments to be protected from 1882, so that's what it looked like then.
I think it looks better with the wall around it, actually.
Yeah, they just kind of, I wonder why they took that away. I probably just repurposed it for some reason. I'm not entirely sure, but it's an amazing piece of history right here. And actually, going back into the 90s, because there are still loads of quarries around here, they wanted to extend a load of quarries that would have basically taken this out Now, I told the story in depth in the other video, so like I say, I'll put that in the description. But in short, basically a load of people set up camp here for like 10 years, living in trees, burrowing underground. People were born up here, people died here. They didn't leave. 365 days a year, they were having their Christmas dinner delivered to them by the locals, who obviously wanted to save it as well. And they won, which is amazing. Well, if it's an offering, I'd be disappointed, Phil, be honest, mate.
That looks to me like, is that spring onion?
It is a spring onion, yeah.
Well, who's going to eat conquer spring onions, poisonous mushrooms and satsumas?
What else you got in there, Phil?
A sheep's jaw, also on offer.
How do you know that's a sheep's jaw?
I don't, but I'm guessing it could be a fox. Do you know?
I haven't got a clue, mate. But there's some, they're sharp teeth for a sheep.
Yeah, could do with a couple of fillings in there actually,
Yeah,
but anyway.
But here you go. So these go way back. So the story is, people were dancing apparently on the Sabbath or whatever, and they weren't supposed to, and so they were turned to stone, which makes zero sense because these would have been here long before those sort of stories were being told. And basically, I think it's sort of been, you know, Christianized. I'm not sure that's a word, Phil, but
Well, I had a good word earlier, so it's high time you.
yeah, we just make up words, don't we? But an amazing piece of history right there.
Yeah.
So Phil's well comfy, not even standing up for the outro, mate.
No, because I just wondered if I'd feel some sort of vibes, you know, but unfortunately not.
Nah, Phil's not gone zen. But we started off, hello. We started off at a Victorian, I'm not just waving at no one, there was a gentleman there. We started off at a Victorian railway station, a beautiful Victorian railway station. And we finished, you know, 4,000 at least years ago at a stone circle. Hope you enjoyed that stomp, I did. Cheers, Phil.
Yep, see you next time.
Take it easy.